Headlines on the 8s now at 5:28. Police in Waterbury are still searching this morning for the driver responsible for that hit-and-run death of an elderly woman. 90-year-old Nella Atkins wandered onto Highland Avenue early Saturday. She had dementia and her caregivers thought she was asleep. A weekend crash on the Mass Pike that killed a Middletown man is still under investigation as well. The Middletown Press has identified the man as Coulter Abley. He was killed early Saturday morning in Westfield. The town of Hamden is hoping to reopen the Miller Library today following the discovery of bed bugs last week. Crews spent the weekend there treating those affected areas. Now, folks who are returning books to any of the city's 3 libraries are urged to place them in a sealed Ziploc bag first. In his first public statement since seeking refuge at the Ecuadorian embassy in London 2 months ago, Julian Assange called on President Obama to end the witch hunt against his secret spilling website, WikiLeaks. Now, Assange has been holed up at the embassy trying to avoid extradition to Sweden, where he's wanted for questioning about an alleged sexual assault. Assange also called for the release of Bradley Manning, the U.S. soldier accused of sending classified documents to WikiLeaks. A 10-year-old girl from Greenwich is going to be attending a luncheon today with the First Lady. Betsy DeSalvia is among the 54 winners of Mrs. Obama's Healthy Lunchtime Challenge, which asks kids to create original, nutritious lunch recipes. Well, over 1,200 kids across the country entered that contest. People on Lake Michigan get a good look at something fascinating yet pretty frightening, a force of nature. Take a look at this, a water sprout. In fact, 9 of those formed over the weekend over the lake. Pretty unbelievable.
Your headlines on the 8s now. A recovery mission already underway this morning for a missing boater in southeastern Connecticut. News 8's Aaron Cox live at the Noack shipyard in Groton with the latest on the search. Aaron.
Good morning, Ken. As it gets closer to daylight, they will resume the search for a woman who apparently went down with the sinking boat and is still missing this morning. The Coast Guard and several local shoreline towns expected back on the water here by the mouth of the Mystic River. Now, at 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, the 50-foot cabin cruiser hit a rock, plunging 10 people and a dog into the waters. Only 9 people and the dog made it to shore. The woman still missing. They say they're going to resume the search this morning. The exact identity of the woman has not been released, but the boat is registered out of Westerly, Rhode Island. We're live in Noack this morning. I'm Aaron Cox, News 8.
Aaron, thank you. Meanwhile, in Fairfield, the drowning of a 28-year-old man is under investigation this morning. It happened at a home on Evergreen Hill Road last night around 6. Police have not released the man's name. Popular furniture retailer IKEA is looking to make its mark in a new market. The company says it's looking to get into the hotel business. The Financial Times reports IKEA wants to build at least 100 budget hotels across Europe. No word on whether guests have to put together their own rooms. Defending champ Caroline Wozniacki hits the court today at the New Haven Open at Yale. If she wins the tourney, she'll join Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, and Chris Evert as the only women to win the same event 5 or more consecutive times. Quite a feat, Gil.
Yeah, and pretty good weather forecast.
5:48 right now. Here are your headlines on the 8s. They're assessing the damage this morning at Washington Town Hall following a freak accident yesterday afternoon. Officials tell us a car drove over a filler pipe for the propane tank buried in the lawn. Well, that propane leaked into Town Hall, sparking a huge explosion. A special memorial ceremony today for News 8's own Dr. Mel Goldstein. A bench in his honor will be unveiled at the East Haven Town Bench. It happens at 10 o'clock this morning. Dr. Mel died in January following a 16-year battle with cancer. Missouri Congressman Todd Akin now says he misspoke following an interview yesterday where he said rape victims rarely get pregnant.
If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
Well, Akin is currently running for the U.S. Senate. Hollywood is mourning the shocking loss of director Tony Scott this morning after he jumped off an L.A. bridge yesterday. Tony Scott is the man behind such films as Top Gun and Enemy of the State. He was 68 years old. A top general in the U.S. military is meeting with senior officials in Afghanistan today to deal with the wave of attacks by Afghan soldiers. Just yesterday, 2 Afghan policemen turned their guns on U.S. troops, killing an American. 10 U.S. troops have been killed so far in a similar fashion in just 2 weeks. Kid Rock is giving back to an injured soldier in his home state of Michigan. The rocker surprised Sergeant David Dumar with a brand new home. Dumar lost part of his lower leg in an IED attack. Pretty cool.